So we're talking about Surly bikes. I think you kind of figured that out, given the Surly frames and the tent outside. Um, so who knows anything about Surly? Okay, let's hear it. What do you know about Surly?
I think the quote goes like steel is real. They make really good steel bikes,
Okay.
and it caters to a different kind of community.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Okay. You got something to add? You gonna add something?
Surly is about touring.
Okay, I heard touring, different kind of community, steel bikes. So yes, Surly is all that and a bit more. So not everybody has a chance to actually find out more about the brand's origins. So that's what I'm going to cover today. We're going to talk about um, how this got started and what it stands for, right? So let's do a couple of things I put down here are like this is 4130, which is the grade of chromoly steel that they use. Racing Sucks, which is basically kind of like a logo that these guys use. But also we'll see what it really means. It's not about dissing racing, but it's about what this brand stands for. Okay, so in the beginning, we're going to talk history now. So in the beginning, we had the what's called the rat ride, and it was later renamed the 1x1, right? So this is around 1998. Surly was founded as kind of like a skunkworks project within QBP. QBP is like the biggest, I would say, the biggest bicycle components and accessories distributor in the world, right? So in the US, it's Quality Bicycle Products, and within there were a group of guys that thought, hey, we can make a fun bike which is not being made by any of these other brands. So they got authorization, or who knows if they got authorization or not. Somehow they made this frame called the Rat Ride. It's meant to be a shop parts bike. So it is meant, these guys are all in the bicycle industry. They're mechanics and there's designers and whatever. They have a lot of parts lying around. So what they did is they made a parts bin bike. So every shop has a lot of parts lying around, bins that been discarded. So they made a frame that can be put together at a very low cost with just the parts available in your bin. And that frame was called the Rat Ride. It actually became a hit, and they made I think they only made a handful of frames. It became a hit, and then they rebranded it as the 1x1 and launched it. So key features about this bike are it is single speed, right? To keep it simple, it's single speed. It basically takes very wide tires. So you have a wide variety of wheel sizes that you can go for. So this bike, which was built in 1998 with 26-inch wheels, I think they built it for 26 into with clearance for 26 into 2.4-inch tires, which the tire did not exist at the time. They just made it so you can do anything with it. So these days, you will find that even if you take a 650B wheel into 2.1 or something like that, it'll probably fit inside this very same frame. Of course, this is a V-brake frame, so there's no disc brakes, but you will find, I'll show you that they make the equivalent of this bike even today with disc brakes. It's called the low side. So this is how the brand got started, and eventually, as it started getting popular, they started making frames, different frames. I think the second one they launched was the Crosscheck, which we still have around. So anyway, so that's the beginning. Before I go into what the brand stands for, how many of you have seen the words FFF on a Surly frame? What does it stand for? We'll get somebody new.
Something fatties, something. Yeah.
Fatties fit fine.
Yes. Fatties fit fine. So what does that mean? Fatties fit fine. It's not referring to the riders. Let's be clear. It's referring to the tires. They always build frames to take larger tires than normal, because larger tires make for a more comfortable ride. So there's a fun video or an informational video about this. There are a lot of such videos on the Surly YouTube page called Surly Speaks, where they explain some of the philosophy behind the brand. But I'm going to play this one for you. Let's watch it.
Hi there, I'm Sheena with Surly Bikes. Today I'd like to talk about fatties fit fine, a phrase that means Surly bicycle frames are made to fit large tires. From day one, we've built generous tire clearance into our frames because large tires help achieve what's known as the Surly ride. Every bike we make says fatties fit fine on the chicken stick. This has been true since 1998 when we introduced our first bike, the Rat Ride, before we were even called Surly. The Rat Ride cleared 2.75-inch tires, even though that size didn't exist yet. Today's ice cream truck has space for 5.1-inch tires, and that size tire doesn't exist yet either. So why do we make room for large tires? First off, they're better at absorbing bumps, which means greater comfort and less wear on the rider and the bike. Also, a larger tire means more rubber on the ground, improving control and stability. Extra tire clearance gives the rider more choices and setting up the bike how they want, both now and in the future. Lastly, more clearance makes wheel removal easier, whether in the shop or on the side of the road. That large tire should easily clear the dropouts and fork tips, so everyone can quickly get back to having a good time. To learn more about Surly Bikes Fatties Fit Fine, or just what it feels like to roll along on big meaty tires, tell your boss you're taking the day off and stop by your local Surly dealer.
So I hope you guys were you able to hear that? So some of the advantages of having the wide tires. This was pretty revolutionary back in the day, but now a lot of the other bike makers have also woken up to it. You're seeing, like, unless it's a racing bike, even the racing bikes have gotten wider than before. Then nobody's running 700/23 anymore. But for recreational bikes, you're certainly seeing a lot more wider tires. This trend was kind of started by Surly and similar brands. So, okay, so that is Fatties Fit Fine. I want to talk about what Surly stands for a bit more. Okay, so it is a counterculture. It's kind of, and that's why we're coming back to that racing sucks, right? So a lot of bike culture is built around racing and competing, and Surly has built its brand around not racing, right? So this is not the bike for racing, but it's for everyone else. They believe that, biking is a lot more different things than racing, right? Biking is commuting, is touring, is fun single speed rides, it's fun MTB rides, it's all of those things. So they created a brand which is counter to everything that the main bicycle brands are doing, and that's where Surly fits in. So here's some of the things that makes Surly what it is. So all of the Surly bikes are made with steel. To be specific, they call their steel Natch. It's a specific custom chromoly steel that they make. It's double butted. Double butted basically means that the steel, the frame that you see is not uniform width throughout, right? So it's thin walled in the center, but where it needs to be stronger, it's thicker. So at the joints and certain areas. So that's double butted steel. And they do this because they want to have a strong bike that lasts forever, but also they want to make it fun to ride. So double butting reduces the weight of the steel bike. So you can see that, if you look at the cheaper steel bikes which don't have double butted tubing, or even steel bikes that use off the shelf double butted tubing, because double butted tubing is available off the shelf. Surly makes it custom for every model so that they get the best weight to strength ratio. So steel bikes, we already talked about Fatties Fit Fine. So these frames, they take wide tires. Single speed. So they are very single speed friendly. Today we're celebrating the launch of the Preamble. The Preamble is not a bike that is single speed ready. But if you look at a lot of other bikes, like for example, the Crosscheck, we have a Crosscheck frame up there. The dropout is very different from any other bike dropout that you can see. Any other that's basically a cyclocross geometry bike. So it's very different from a cyclocross bike that you see from other brands. And the reason the dropout is different, and if you look at a lot, we have an Ogre out there, we have Krampus out there, and you guys can take a look at the dropouts when you get a chance. Surly invests a lot of energy and engineering into making their dropouts special, right? Because the dropouts are meant not only, I mean, a simple dropout can be made if it's just meant for geared bikes, but they make it so you can use single speed drivetrains. So the cross check is very easy to set up single speed. You don't need to have a separate chain tensioner. You can set it because the wheel can be moved fore and aft easily. Same for the Krampus, same for the Ogre. So a lot of the Surly frames out there are meant to be built single speed. Again, going back to the original Rat Ride 1x1 days, they were always single speed friendly. They are one of the sponsors of the single speed World Championships, single speed cyclocross World Championships. You will see Surly always attending those events. So they are very single speed focused. Make it your own. So I have here a picture of decals. These are stickers that you can put on your frame. So Surly encourages you to build your bike to your liking. No two bikes have to be looking exactly the same. Their belief is that the owner, the rider, their personality should be reflected in that bike. So they still sell a lot more frames than bikes. We still stock a lot more frames than bikes. We encourage you to buy the frame and build the bike up, right? We don't want every bike to be a carbon copy of each other. So you have the ability to build it single speed. You can, some of the frames, they even take different size wheels, so you could build the Midnight Special frame with 700C road wheels, or you could build it up with 650B wheels. So it takes both sides. Some frames even have the ability to take multiple brakes. So like we have an Ogre out there. The Ogre is a bike that can be built with either V brakes or disc brakes. So you see the options. It can be single speed, it can be V brake, it can be disc brake, it can be 29er, it can be kind of 700C if you want. Whatever you like, you can have multiple wheels for your bike. So make it your own. They even sell different style decals. So if you want the decals for every Surly, some people like it, some people don't. But if you look at the Surly decal, it is not under the clear coat. It is put on top of the clear coat. It's by design. They want you to be able to easily remove it and change it. That's why they put it on top of the clear coat. So you can easily remove the decals on your bike and put in a different color, different style. You can make your own also. The bike shops in Japan really take it to the next level. They do custom paint. And since they do so much custom paint, they order bikes from Surly without paint, without frames, without paint. They say we want the unpainted frame because they don't want to go to the job of actually stripping off the factory paint. It's a waste. So they actually buy a container full of frames which are like not painted, and then they do their own custom paint. So make it your own is another thing that Surly champions. Fifth thing on this list is practical/cargo. So you will see most of the Surly frames, they are built to be practical bikes. They're not just meant to be used for events or whatever. They're meant to be ridden for multiple purposes. So they want you to be able to put racks onto it. They want you to be able to carry heavy cargo. Maybe you want to carry a kid. It's fine. The frame is built for it. Most of the frames have a lot of attachment points. The touring bikes have fantastic array of attachment points. You can put like front racks, rear racks, frame bags, whatever it is, right? So multiple water bottles, anything and everything. So they are always. And when I talk about these things, we're not only talking bikes, but we're also talking components. So Surly as a brand has always been making components to help people do these things, right? So for example, if you look at single speed, Surly this is a component made by Surly, snug nut. They have tug nuts, they have chain tensioners. Even if you don't have a Surly frame, if you have a Trek frame or specialized frame, now you want to make it single speed, you need a chain tensioner. They make chain tensioners. Surly makes chain tensioners that you can put on that bike. You want to take your freewheel rear wheel, you want to remove the cassette and you want to run it single speed, they make the cog, the spacer kit and the cogs that you can buy in different sizes to put on your existing bike and make it single speed. So they champion these things across all different bikes, so you can buy. So when it comes to cargo also, they have racks. We have racks. We have 8-pack rack, 24-pack rack. Those are like front racks that allow you to put a basket or a bag on front. They have the nice rack, which is like the front rear touring racks and rear touring racks. They make a variety of bags that you can use, such as this one. It's called the porter bag. So they make a lot of components. We try to carry a lot of it. They make like these bottle feedbacks, a front handlebar bag, so many different bags. So you can look at the Surly website. If we don't have it in stock, you can always ask us. We can probably order it for you. Last but not the least, sizes. I want to talk sizes. So there are some of the simple frames like the MTB frames, the Preamble, where Surly has simplified sizes to make it more accessible price-wise and all that. So they have the standard MTB sizes, right? Let's go look at sizes in detail. So these are the MTB sizes you see at the bottom. Even that is a pretty wide variety. XS, extra small, small, medium, large, XL, double XL. So it goes all the way. We have bikes for really short people. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen a 38 centimeter bike. I mean, like, it's like school kid size, right? And we have 64 centimeter bike. That's like somebody who's like 6'6" or something. So we can go all of that length. You can see it goes from 5 foot to 6'8". These are MTB sizes or Preamble sizes. But if you go into any of the road bike frames like Crosscheck or Midnight Special, or even like the touring bikes like Disc Trucker or Long Haul Trucker, then it gets even more granular, because we don't have one size. Within this XS bracket, we'll have 38 to 46. So we'll have a 38, 42, 46. The 3 frame sizes for the riders who are between 5 and 5'5", right? So the reason this is important is because you get almost a custom frame kind of experience, as close as you can get to a custom frame experience, but buying something off the shelf, right? You're not actually going to get this in any other bike brand. Whereas here, you can go quite fine-tuned. So if you look at, for example, the small, we have 50, 52, 54, 3 sizes there. You look at a medium person, we have the 52, 54, 56. So there are multiple sizes available in each bucket. All the geometry is listed on the Surly website, and you can look. So sizing is very important and a big advantage. Most people do not realize how big an advantage this is, because you get this kind of fit which is so custom, very close to what is very ideal for you, as close as ideal as you can get. Okay, so that is my take on what Surly stands for. I hope I see some people are going to nod off here. So hope it wasn't too boring. We'll look at some media. I think you will enjoy looking at some media. Let's take a look. This is one. So that's the most serious part of my presentation is finished. Now it is just all telling you how different people are using, mostly our customers in India, but also some people maybe who picked up the bike in overseas and brought it to India, or maybe picked it up here and took it overseas. But I want to share some of these. We've been selling Surly for well over 12 years now, and there's been a ton of bikes that I've seen gone all around the world. Like I'm surprised constantly. We have a session by Dhruv tomorrow morning. I mean, his troll, he landed in Alaska and biked all the way to South America. We have Ganesh. You will see him in one of the pictures. He has taken his bike everywhere, all around India. He has biked from Bangalore all the way to Kashmir. He has taken it to Iceland, and he actually runs at Manipal University now, like a program for outdoor recreation, and he's encouraging people to take their bikes and go out and see the country. So without much ado, let me play this one. This is one of our customers called Abhishek in Bangalore, who made this fun video.
隅から隅まで知っているおいらは銀座のスズメなのさ夏になったら泣きながら忘れ
चल मेरे साथ खड़े हो
Anybody guess the bike?
करे दो कलम जुबान पे है स्कूल में थे पाठ पढ़े दो पढ़ी ना तो रात पढ़े दो बड़े चले ज्ञान
No, it's not a disc jockey.
कर दिखा के अभी देते मीठे वादे फले रो
Yes, it's a straggler.
दया ना मिली कि तरस के लिए खड़े नाचे सने रो रैप गेम में है जगह बहुत जगह चौंद गाने लेके खड़ा डॉन बता कौन पहचान मुझे लगा शॉट पटा बॉम्ब निशाने पे हटा भगा सारे शाने लिखे बताओ ने कलाकार मेरा आज कलाकार ते बाज मिलेगा तो बोली की इमारत गिरेगी तेरी माथे पे कुछ दफन होगा जैसे मुमताज
Anybody seen this before? So anyways, it's just a weekend ride. He just did a good job of actually capturing it, and it's really the whole, what Surly is. Surly is about actually saying that, that you wouldn't otherwise with geometry. So he likes riding a drop bar gravel bike, and he likes these trails are near his house. This is his weekend ride. So that was really fun. Thanks to Abhishek Madan for that. So he steel is also a very, not only does it last long, it also absorbs vibration. It gives a very compliant ride. So that's why Surly chooses steel. And so, okay, we'll go on to what I don't remember what else I have here. This is a picture of Dhruv and Ashim. They're going to be talking tomorrow morning. So, and I've already had a sneak peek at their presentation. It's kick-ass. So I hope you guys will make an attempt to join in, and I hope the people watching this online, if you're not able to come into the store, well, he's going to be presenting remotely because he's in Delhi. So I hope you will catch it online as well, and there will be chances for you to win t-shirts. I realized that I should actually talk a little bit more about Ashim and Dhruv. So Dhruv had this vision that he wanted to ride from Alaska to from the top of North America to the tip of South America to Argentina. So he wanted a bike for this purpose, and he came to us, and that's when we set him up with the Surly Troll. Sadly, that model has been discontinued. The successor, it's called the Bridge Club now. But he rides a Surly Troll, and he set it up with a roll-off drivetrain, which, if you don't know, is an internal gear hub that has 14 speeds. It is preferred by a lot of serious tourers. So since then, he has come back and he has been touring the Himalayas, and he's written a couple of books, one of which we have over here. So I don't know if that's seen in the camera. So this book is available on the BOTS website today. So if you want to read more about it, it's a fantastic read. If you guys want to find out more about Dhruv's adventures, pick up one of his books. And this is his wife Ashim, and they are now, I think she rides a Bridge Club, and they are now touring the Himalayas. He has a corporate job, so he actually takes time out, schedules some time, and covers a route, comes back, covers a different part of the route, and over time he has done some insane amount of some 6,000-7,000 kilometers or something like that. You will hear all about it in tomorrow's talk. Okay, now I'm showing Ganesh of Manipal, who I just talked about. He's actually a professor at Manipal, and what he's holding up over there is his LHT, which is over 10 years old, one of the first bikes that we actually sold. And like I said, it's seen many parts of the world. And this is his new Bridge Club that he rides around when he's not doing the drop bar touring mode, I guess. But you should follow his account because he has a lot of good stuff to share all the time. Some of our team members that we've had at Surly India over the years, notably when they all got to pick a bike that they wanted to build for themselves, these three, Shamla, Archana, and Iggy, picked the straggler. So, and funny enough, they're all the same size. So different colored stragglers, but same size, each one picked at different times by all of these guys. So they all ride the straggler, which is a fun bike. You can see you could use it in commuting, or you can use it for gravel riding. Here, I wanted to call out some of our dealers who have who have taken to Surly over the years. This is Abby. He's going to be here this afternoon and tomorrow. So he's a really prolific long distance rider. He does a lot of brevets, and he rides it typically on his Surly Pacer. He has multiple bikes. He has a straggler, he has a steamroller, he has a troll, but the pacer, and he will be giving a talk about long distance riding and how he prefers a Surly for that, and just tips for anybody doing these brevets and all, and how he handles these events. This is actually Chetan from Cadence 90 here in Bangalore, just taken on one of his weekend rides. This one is another Ganesh. This is from Bangalore, and he has a shop called Jyoti Cycle. He has a straggler, and he planned this ride for the longest time. I think he had some family in Indore, so when he planned this trip, and this is basically the equivalent of what we call credit card touring. So he packed lightly, started from Bangalore and cycled to Indore, and he didn't pack like a tent or sleeping bag or things like that. Instead, he just stayed in like hotels along the way where he could take his bike. But yeah, all of these are inspiring dealers that have enjoy their Surlys. Here I have a customer called Ramachandran, and he basically, you can see the transformation there. So I'm not saying Surly he did that himself, but he happens to be one of our customers, and he has been riding his Surly prolifically in Chennai, in Pollachi, and now he spends time in Germany. But this was very inspiring to see what he did, So he also has multiple Surlys. It's a thing that happens once people get into Surly and they enjoy their bike, and then they see what a different Surly offers. Sometimes they want to try it, and so it ends up happening. But here he is on his, I believe that's a cross-check or straggler, and this one is an instigator. We have Rohit over there on his Pugsley. Yes, we actually have fat bikes in India also. We've sold a few. So I think that's in Wayanad. So that is, he lives in Kerala, and he is actually going to be accompanying Abraham's talk. So he's one of our speakers who is going to be here today and tomorrow. So look forward to seeing him. There's no way I could have covered all the customers that we had. So if your photo did not show up here, I'm sorry. I only had limited time this week to pull up what I could easily. So I pulled up some of the ones that I could easily find. I remember, and I know there's a lot of adventures that people have had on the Surlys. It's not exhaustive by all means. But this is Sudipto. He's actually one of the moderators of the Surly India Riders group, which is on Facebook. So we do have a Surly India Riders group for people that own Surlys and want to share information or swap parts or just discuss things. It's on Facebook. And he's in Calcutta, and this photo is taken in Darjeeling on his long haul trucker. I think he has a bridge club also now. This photo, I want to talk a little bit about, this is obviously touring in the Himalayas, and this is, I believe, a Surly ECR. This is from our friends in Surly Bikes Club in Thailand, right? They come and tour. The first one in Spiti Valley we were involved with, but after that they've really taken to loving the Himalayas and touring the region. So every year, or maybe some years even twice a year, they are coming as a group and touring our country, and a lot of them are riding their Surly bikes. And they are always asking for local people to join them because they're very friendly. They love getting the local flavor. So if anybody is interested, I can put you in touch with them. They will definitely be touring this summer in the Himalayas. This couple, they are okay. I have forgotten. This is what happens when you don't put notes on the pictures. So I think his name is Viman, and that's his wife. They ride Surly Trolls, and they did a Kashmir to Kanyakumari trip a couple of years back during the pandemic. And it was very inspiring. I forgot the name of their hometown, but I believe they're somewhere in the mountains near Darjeeling or something like that. But anyway, it was great to see them do their ride. This one doesn't have a rider, because this is a guy, person called Ashik. That's a Karate Monkey. It's a 29er MTB built on the same geometry as the Ogre, but it's more of a cross country trail bike. I wanted to call this out because he did a drop bar setup with the Surly corner bar. So if you're not familiar with what a Surly corner bar is, the Surly corner bar is allows you to add a drop bar to an MTB. Again, it's not only for Surlys, it's for any MTB you own. It allows you to use the same brake levers that you use on a flat bar and set up a kind of a drop bar bike. So if you come back to what I was saying about Surly parts, they make all these interesting parts, including handlebars that you can use on any different bike. Give it a little bit of a Surly feel, you know. It's a Surly handlebar, but this is on a Surly bike, but you can put it on your own MTB too. What do we have here? Okay, we had Faiz. This bike was built by Abraham, who's going to be here, but Faiz actually did a highly publicized, with sponsors and everything, a ride from Kerala to London. So I want to share a little part of his ride here, but there are many more videos on his YouTube channel. He's right. He actually made plans to meet up with riders and organizations in every city he stopped at. So it's fun to see his adventures and see where all he's been on his bike. Just a short look, but he's got plenty more on his channel. I didn't think I would actually fill up my 1 hour slot, but I didn't realize how much I talk. In searching, this is something that I just came across 2 days ago when I was searching for videos and media to include. I would search and I realized that our friends in Kerala, especially Rais, who you'll see in this video, has been doing a stellar job of publicizing the different frames that we have from Surly and the riders. He's interviewing all of these riders, including Rohit and Abraham and all. And these views have like 20,000, 30,000 views. He's fantastic. And this one is actually with a news channel. Take a look. He has a Surly Big Dummy, which is a long tail cargo bike. We do get, once in a while, we get these bikes which are not mainstream. And, I'm very happy to see when they find a person that's a good fit for it. So take a look.
അപ്പം ബിഗ് ഡമ്മി എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞൊരു സൈക്കിളാണ് നമ്മൾ പരിചയപ്പെടുത്തുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ ഇതിന്റെ പ്രത്യേകത എന്താണെന്നൊക്കെയുള്ളത് ഇതിന്റെ ഒരു ഓണർ മുഹമ്മദ്
റൈസ്
വലിയ സാധനങ്ങളൊക്കെ നമുക്ക് കൊണ്ടുപോകാൻ പറ്റുന്ന, ഷിഫ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ഒരു കരിയറും കൂടിയാണ് ഈ ബിഗ് ഡമ്മി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ ഇന്ത്യയിൽ തന്നെ ഇത് ആകെ ഒരെണ്ണം മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ എന്നാണ് റൈസ് പറയുന്നത്.
Again, a longer video, but then, yeah, hi. Rais also owns a drone and he takes like phenomenal videos. So if you want to see some of his videos, you can find him on YouTube. Let me quickly run through some of these things. Another picture I like, this is our customer Devanand from Bhuj. And he posts a lot of photos without himself in it, but that's his pacer. And that photo, I believe this is a Bridge Club. Is that a Bridge Club color? I forgot. And that one's a Karate Monkey. This from Mumbai. Samar Payami is the dealer. This is Devendra Thakur, I believe. I forgot the location, but somewhere central India. That's a Midnight Special. Same frame that you see over here. Bangalore guys, you might know Nishant Iyengar. He's been part of the cycling community here for a long time. He has a long haul trucker. Again, it's seen most of this country. He is a prolific tourer. Again, he takes time. He famously, I remember him famously saying that, he works so that he can save money to tour. So this bike has seen so many kilometers. And this, I think, few years back, he actually went across the US. And this photo was taken there when he's halfway across the US. This is a straggler that our dealer in Chennai, Suresh of Pro Bikers, built for a celebrity customer. So that's Ajit. I don't know how many people know Ajit from the movies. Yeah. So there was a straggler that was built for Ajit. Another customer, John Brito, I would say ex-army officer. This is Mana Pass, I think he said, a tour that he did. He has an Ogre, same bike that we have available here for trying today. And he has toured extensively in the Himalayas. Fantastic account to follow to see the places that he's been. Oh, talk about heavy hitters, two really heavy hitters. This is Firoz. Firoz is from Mumbai. Firoz came by and said he wanted a touring bike. He came by with two friends, actually. Three of them came and picked up three Surlys. And for about 4 years, I think he just rode his bicycle in Mumbai and maybe some short tours. I didn't hear much about him. But then he just started touring the Himalayas like non-stop. So he's actually been featured in Condé Nast Traveler. So no hotels, no cars, no plans. How this Mumbai lawyer, he's a lawyer by profession, covered 4,600 kilometers across India. Has a tent, stays on his own, self-sufficient. Fantastic account to follow to see. He's a disc trucker. The bike is a disc trucker, and amazing to see how his life has changed after he's taken to biking and all the different exploration he's doing. Some more pictures from customers. This is actually probably the most recent one in this deck. This is just a few months ago. This group, they went touring in Meghalaya. I believe this is a Surly Pugsley, and that must be an Ogre. So Vatsal and Dr. Bhavensha. And this is Dr. Devanand Parmar on his LHT on the same tour. My whole idea behind showing you guys this is just to give you an idea of, I get this question sometimes on our social media page because we share adventures from overseas also. A lot of times I feel like Surly riders overseas, they have better cameras and maybe they have just the better equipment to catalog their event. So there's a lot of videos and photos that come out that are easily shareable, and then customers will message and say, why are you sharing all this? Nobody in India is doing all of this. And I want to say that people in India are doing all of this. We have sold the bikes for over 12 years and we see what adventures they're having with their the bikes. And so my whole intent of showing this is to say that the Surly culture is alive and well in India, and we're very happy to see it thrive. And we're welcoming new people to join. If this is the kind of adventure that appeals to you, if this is something that you would like to do, then come and join us, talk to us. We're happy to help. Yes. Let me give you the mic. I mean, the mic is only for people on.
They're online. Okay. So do you only deal with Surlys, or are there other operators like Santos, other bike providers?
So I think this is a question for bots, because we are the distributor for Surly, so we're representing Surly. He wants to know about other similar bike brands.
Steel bikes or
Touring bikes, like
touring?
like Santos or some.
Santos. We have Surly. We have a little bit of Yellow Orange. We have a little bit of Soma. But yeah, I think Surly is where options are there, different types.
So on the screen, we have Karan from Delhi. He has a straggler. That picture was taken when he rode from, just one day, he just rode from Delhi to Jaipur. But yeah, we have people that like a bit of a fast ride, but also want the compliance of the steel frame, and they would like to maybe transport their bike without worrying about it breaking. So you can see his is a kind of a racing build. He has carbon wheels, he has a carbon fork, but still went for a Surly steel frame straggler. This is a customer that we saw on his weight loss journey, Ramachandran from Chennai. He has a farm in Polachi, and when he took, this is what an example of organic growth, which really warms my heart. But he takes his bike to his farm and he rides his Surly over there, and then his neighbors and friends there get interested and they ask him, what is this? What is Surly? Why are you riding this bike? And how can you ride it in these places where our cycles can't go? And so, this is Ram Prakash, and then this is Dr. I forgot the doctor's name. I'm sorry. But yeah, so they ended up becoming Surly customers. So, both of those, between these three guys, they have like 10 Surlys. They all have multiple Surlys. So really happy to see like that kind of organic growth and friendships developing. Just a picture from a weekend ride in Chennai. Somebody had posted it saying that, a bunch of Surlys, they got together and had a ride. This is not organized by us. So it's just Surly riders getting together and, sharing their rides. Our friend Anil, who's not with us anymore, when I put out a message on social media asking for Surly riders to send in their photos for today's event, somebody shared me this and said this is the legend on his bike. And yeah, I would say he's a legend. He rode his single speed like insane. Does anybody know how many kilometers he did? He did like easily 10,000 plus every year. Yeah. So that's a Surly steamroller. It's a single speed frame. It's a track bike frame. That's a bike that cannot be built with gears easily. So it is meant as a track bike. And yeah, we miss Anil. At this point, I wanted to stop and ask for questions and answers. I mean, to discuss anything or answer any questions. Anybody want to ask me anything?
Or is just the bikes?
So
is it just the bikes, or do you also give people with customized rack mounts, and panniers?
So I want to answer the question by saying that Surly does the entire gamut, right? So it's bikes and parts. In fact, if you go to their website now, their tagline is bikes, parts, chaos. So they do parts. We have the racks. The racks are also made of chromoly steel. So they're not the aluminum racks. One of the other advantages of steel is that it's easily repairable. So for tourists who are going on a long ride, let's say they're going on a 3-month ride, they're going in a place where they're not close to home. If you end up breaking your rack, you want to be able to quickly weld it and fix it. So the steel racks are going to be heavier than alloy racks, but it's much easier. It's easier to weld steel than aluminum. That's why we have racks made from steel. So Surly does make 4 different racks. They make a front rack, a rear rack, solid front rack, rear rack, and then they make a front basket rack in a small size, 8-pack, and then another one called a 24-pack. So we have these 4 racks. They're not custom, but yeah, we can fit them onto your bike. And they have all other parts. So there are some bags, they don't make like exactly like touring bags. They make like some bike packing bags. But if you want like proper touring pannier bags, I would suggest Ortlieb. Right? Ortlieb is a good brand for that. Yeah, good question. Discussing, I don't know. We're basically out of time. So I'm going to say, let's see what I have next. This is an intro to the preamble, which you guys can see online. I'm out of time. I'm going to see that right now. I want to finish with this video. This video I scheduled to show at the end because I really love this person's name is Jedediah and Jenkins. And this is from a few years back. You've seen this video? Somebody here has actually seen this video. Have you guys seen this video? No. Okay. But, this guy took some time out and went on the road, and his friend followed him for a short time and asked him why he's doing what he's doing. And I think this guy is an author. So the way he phrases it is just so beautiful. So thank you everyone for attending. And I'm going to finish with this video. And with that, let's just watch it.
I've met a lot of older people, grandparents, teachers who give me the spiel of, oh, my life went by so fast. Just yesterday I was 19 or 25 and now I don't know where all that time went. I just blinked and I was 80. And I think about that and I'm like, what a strange way to be alive. Back in California, I had this fear of building this routine in my 30s and suddenly the decade is gone. And so I promised myself I would do something radically different, and I'm going to do something that scares the crap out of me and see if that changes my brain chemistry. I've been living on my bicycle for a year now. I've biked from Oregon, down America, down Mexico, Central America, into South America. And people ask me, why do you live on a bike? Why did you quit your job? Why are you doing this? My answer is this. The routine is the enemy of time. It makes it fly by. When you're a kid, everything is astonishing. Everything is new. And so your brain is awake and turned on. So every passing second, your brain is learning something new, learning how the world works. And so the muscle of your brain is activated. And as you get older, and your brain has figured out the patterns of the way the world works. This is how you make money. This is how you graduate school. This is how you get a mortgage. This is how you have kids. I've got that on lockdown. I know my car. I know how to go to work every day. I know how to check out, all these things. And once your brain establishes a routine, it stops. The alertness goes away. The fascination with the way the world works. And I think that's what travel in general does. It wakes up your brain. I'll go into a new country, into Panama, into Colombia, these countries I've been scared of because of the news. And I'll find it beautiful and shocking. Every hill I cross over is insanely awesome. My brain is fascinated. I didn't know my brain could be so turned on. I want to be aware of every day I'm alive, and I want to make it to 85 and be exhausted because I have been alive and awake every single day. And I think that's the duty of being an adult, is when you're a kid, everything's new, so you don't have to work for it. You're just astonished by it. Once you're an adult, that's a choice. You choose adventure for your own life. But it's not about the bike. It's about getting out of your routine, and that could look like anything. And that's what I'm doing here. That's why I'm doing this bike trip. Because I don't want my days to control me. I don't want my life, the calendar, to be my boss. I want to control my days. I want to choose the adventures that I go on, and I want to choose a mind and a soul that's wide awake. Because in a sense, it turns your 100 years on this planet into 1,000. And so, I mean, that's why I'm doing this bike trip.
All right. So